Hey guys, what's going on? We're the Foundry and we're back at it. This is John. I'm Kylo.
Hey, what's going on,
Another
guys?
Curse podcast. So we got an interesting subject today. We have Bigfoot people. So John, what's going
Yes.
on with that?
So, back in the day, a long time ago, almost 100 years ago, which is crazy to think about. So there was a battle. It's called the Bigfoot Battle, St. Helens, on this mountain. It's maybe familiar. A lot of Bigfoot sightings over there, but also known as Ape Canyon. So it's this gorge. It's very interesting story. So, one of the big ones is obviously like when you think of paranormal, the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and we don't think one episode can ever cover that cryptid, that big paranormal mystery. We can't cover in one episode, so we'll take smaller investigations or sightings or something like that. But this is a very interesting story here. So, I want to start off the case with a question for you, Kyler. So,
Okay.
do you believe in the existence of Sasquatch?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I say at one point or another in history, I think. So, is Bigfoot one of a kind? Could it be a family of this breed, maybe? But in 1924, it was a group of gold prospectors had an encounter in the woods that they would never forget. So, men by the name of Fred, Beck, Gabe, leftover? I don't know. John Peterson,
Marion Smith.
And his son.
Roy's son or Smith's son Roy.
Yeah, and his Roy. Thank you. They were settled in the woods, getting their thing on during the summer. They were just looking for gold, doing their mining thing. And they're located about 8 miles from a place called Spirit Lake. Mm-hmm. When our group of gold miners were viciously attacked by an unknown group of men, gorilla men. So that's the thing. So like, they're at this homemade cabin, that they have set up there because that's what to do. They're gold prospectors. They need a place to stay, during the time there. So our gold miners describe them as 7-foot tall ape-like animals covered in long black hair. This is where it gets even weirder. So their eyes about just 4 inches, or excuse me, their ears about 4 inches long and stick straight up. That's the weirdest thing because like when you see a lot of photos of Bigfoot or like Sasquatch, the ears never really stick out to me personally. So they got fucked up ears. And they also have 4 toes and they're short and stubby. So like little manlet gorillas walking around with black hair, some weird ears going on and whatnot. So our gold miners estimated each creature at about 400 pounds.
And I thought that was crazy that they were able to just guess that dude's weight. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like that's an exaggeration. When you tell a story, you don't say like, "Oh, this guy beat the fuck out of me." You don't say, "Yeah, he was about 4'11". He's about 7 feet tall. He got the best of me, understandably. But I don't know. Like,
I
feel
made
like
that bitch stand on a scale. I had to find out right then and there.
that's fucking funny. When the men first were like taken back, they were first taken back when they see this creature like out in the woods. They see this creature and the first instinct, shoot it.
Yeah, I thought it was
shoot it.
I thought it was interesting because, like, at first, apparently, Mr. Beck thought, like, oh, yeah, I totally shot it. But, like, later, whenever people were investigating and trying to follow up on it, he's like, no, it wasn't me. I didn't shoot that. It was someone else in the group. Never got a name on who it was, but...
Yeah, they just said, like, I know, like, initially in the very, like, first telling the story, it says that Beck has killed him. But, like, when he investigates it to the Rangers and when it's put in the Oregonian, I think, the newspaper that's later reported in, that they didn't really mention it. But he did say that when he was watching the creature first, it was taking human-like strides while walking up on 2 feet.
Mm-hmm. Walking up straight, just totally human-like, just acting like a human. But whenever people come around, he's just...
Yeah, so that's very weird. So he takes a shot at it. See, there's an important piece of evidence here is it's like the most important piece of evidence ever in like paranormal history is something called the Patterson footage. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do.
It's video from 1960s, I believe, of Bigfoot. He's kind of like looking brownish oranges. He's walking in the woods, and it's just like an old video of him walking, and he like kind of slightly turns back around
at the camera, looks at it, and then keeps on walking.
Yeah,
I think I have seen that.
Yeah, it's like notorious, and it's like any screenshots of like Bigfoot walking, like that's what it is, taking a piece of that. So you look at that footage and you can see that he's also taking like human-like strides. So it could be of the same species, creature, or something like that, And people think that there's a consistency between those two creatures, the one that they saw and shot at, and the one that they saw in the Patterson footage years later. So a 1970s photo led to believe that subjects that were submitted by an Oregonian hiker that there were like these big, so like this is in the same area, like these footprints. I think I have some. We're gonna throw them up on the screen in a second, guys. But these Bigfoots here, that was taken by a hiker in the same area. Let me find that shit real quickly. Boom! Look at that.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big old. I mean, foot. Yeah,
That's
big
a
old foot.
400-pounder foot right there. So our story begins. Well, already began, I guess, with our prospectors. Hard working day on the countryside. Fred Beck stumbled upon a beast in the woods, and with the same description, that we just went over. Mm-hmm. Fred Beck, scared out of his mind, using fight or flight,
he grabs his musket, and he's just like, all right. Hang on.
So he fires it a couple times, he nails the creature. It goes flying down the hill,
Falling off a gigantic cliff, apparently.
Supposedly. Yeah. So, if I shot something
three times.
No matter if I know what it is, if I don't know what it is, I'm going to go see if I killed the fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see if there's a body,
That thing can come back and come back for you.
Exactly. Like, you want to make sure. How do you know you didn't like murder like a fucking person?
Bigfoot people, they're good eating. So.
Oh, really? Yeah, 400 pounds of fucking meat.
Ooh, it's all muscle.
So later that evening, tension ran very high for the miners. They didn't know what they shot at. It's an encounter. That. You can't. To me, I'd be a little freaked out. But these are some hard blue collar workers, in the early 20s, doing their golden and their prospecting and stuff.
And I just like to imagine them just like sitting in their cabin. They're just like eating their dinner. Just everything's all right, and just Fred's there, just like, what if that thing comes back?
He's got PTSD. He's like, hey, Fred, shoots fucking.
He's like, I think
Roy.
I shot a man in a ghillie suit. I don't know what's going on.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on.
The ranger's gonna be after my ass. I'm sorry.
So that night, the men, they were awakened in the middle of the night. Stones started smashing against their isolated cabin out in the woods, all by them lonesome. Stones just start smashing into it. There's a ruckus. It's not an earthquake, ladies and gentlemen. So the men were held inside the cabin, and they were not going to head out for anything. They just felt massive, just bodies slamming into the walls of the cabin, into the door, gigantic creatures attempting to force their way in. Mm-hmm. It's the 8 people, ladies and gentlemen. So did the creature get injured? Or perhaps did the creature that they killed have friends?
He did have friends, supposedly. So there was a bunch of apes, supposedly, on the little hillside, just like rolling down boulders and rocks and everything towards the house. And they're kind of getting territorial. Like, they're looking for Fred, supposedly, trying to get blood back for the one that they killed of their own. Mm-hmm. But they're trying to do anything to get in the house, get these people out, kill them. Who knows?
Just attacking, you know?
And one thing I thought was really whack was they did a lot of damage to the house, but they got on the roof. And they broke through the roof. And they saw Fred, and they were like, that's the motherfucker right there. And they start grabbing rocks, and they're chucking it at Fred. And then Fred's just out cold for the rest of the night.
He gets KO'd.
And everyone else, I guess, is just like, what the hell is going on? Fred's out. Oh, God. Well, yeah,
that's like in a direct quote from the newspaper. Exactly. It says, many of the rocks fell through a hole in the roof, and 2 of them struck Beck in the fucking head. Like, they knew who they were aiming for. They knew, like you said, like, they were going for him. But, yeah. So once the sun rose, that's what tempted, that's what started. The beast started to retreat, and it was calm. It was quiet, that morning. Just no birds chirping, no nothing. Just silence, and just the prospectors listening for any danger outside.
Like vampires, they don't like sunlight.
No. So they peek their head out, and they see the attack is over. But this was the first time that the tale of ape men have been told. Not only the hunters have encountered this, but lumberjacks, loggers,
Other prospectors, just a whole sort of people. They're just like, oh yeah, they're out there.
The first time.
You should came talk to me. They're totally out there. You didn't know that?
Yeah. We have in that exact same cabin. There is a break if ape men emergency. You didn't see that glass over there? So yeah. After this attack, so the boyos, the prospectors, head outside, start to investigate. Large stones thrown everywhere, massive footprints all over the place, But apparently, Native Americans in the area have a name for these ape men. They're called mountain devils. So, so mountain devils, I guess, are quite popular in that area with Spirit Lake and just that gorge, or what will later be known as Ape Canyon.
And I also thought it was interesting that apparently they kind of coexisted for a little while from what's his name?
Well, of course you got to coexist with 400-pounders. What are you gonna do? Kill them all off?
They got horses. They got bows.
They're gonna show up at your fucking. They're gonna show up at your house and fucking your little teepee tent, and you're gonna start throwing rocks through there.
Hey, come on, man. We got rocks. They got rocks. Let's get it on. All right. So, a man, the member of the tribe, Frank Wanasay. I thought that name was a little bit weird, but
So
yeah.
what does Frank got to say about this? About the mountain
Frank
devils?
Wanasay is like going on a little tangent about these people. It's like, yeah, we've known about them for a little while. Our elders supposedly talked about them a lot. They knew more than Frank Wanasay did, but supposedly the creatures were around 9 to 10 feet tall, hairy men. Never seen during the day. Never. Only.
Which is weird because didn't Beck shoot one during the day?
Yes,
supposedly.
he did. Probably caught him off guard. The dude wanted a little mid-morning snack or something.
Maybe.
But yeah, only traveled at night. Normally traveled in groups. And
Unless he shot the runt. You know, he probably shot the weaker one.
Poor
the runt.
poor
the
kid.
The idiot. It's like little Johnny waking up from his nap.
He's just over there. He's just like, oh, hey, a visitor. You want a flower?
Yeah, got blasted away by Beck. Beck's like, I got him, boys!
He's just, woo, caught me a live one. And they're all corresponding in stature, close to human resemblance and whatnot, aside from the long
Humanoid
hair.
boyos. You know, this sounds a lot like Sasquatch to me.
Is it Sasquatch? Oh, shit.
Yeah, is this actually? Are we doing Sasquatch right now?
I didn't think we were doing Sasquatch. I thought it was Bigfoot people.
Oh, fuck this, dude. Oh, fuck. I thought Mountain Devils. Wait, are Mountain Devils and Sasquatch the same thing? Hang on. Cut this.
Oh,
cut this.
shit.
Oh, fuck, dude.
I think you just fucked my mind.
So, oh, you got more on Frank and the Native American tribe?
So supposedly these creatures, this is like my last thing from Frank want to say. The creatures were supposedly not really hostile unless you were hostile first, like shot them, for instance, or invaded their territory. But still, normally they kept to themselves. They didn't want to be messed with, and they didn't want to mess with people unless they had to.
Right, so I can understand why they attacked.
Yeah, they shot their runt. How could they do
shot
that?
their kiddo there. So this wasn't any news that you could just keep quiet, you know. So the U.S. Forest Service decided to investigate, you know, this attack because people were hurt during this, you know. But this report spread like wildfire, everybody. So we got some rangers. They come into town. They fall back up into the forest. You know, they go to the first encounter where the shooting occurred and the first sighting, and they found nothing.
Yep, by the cliffside. They had they were looking for traces of blood, powder, anything, any kind of evidence, and they couldn't find anything. They had a ranger hike all the way down, rock climbing down, try to find a body. Nothing. Nothing.
Anything?
They found nothing.
Fucking nothing down here, Beck. What the fuck, dude?
How the fuck am I supposed to get back up here? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. What are you doing?
I think I see another one.
Back. So, oh my God, it's right there. Where? It's right there at the
Is
bottom
it
of the
right
cliff.
behind me?
Oh my God, that's funny. Just shoots the fucking ranger. Got him again, boys.
Puts a fucking like shit ton of brush on him and glue. It's just like, that's gotta be a Bigfoot person.
So shaving really quickly, putting hair on him. See, they'll believe me now.
They'll all believe.
Beck goes fucking insane, turns into Rambo.
Paul, I don't think this is right. You want to be a Bigfoot person too?
You want to be a big person?
You want to be a big man right now?
So then they continue to the cabin after, you know, a little debacle with the cliffside, and Beck pointed out the big stones, you know, thrown everywhere that were thrown at the cabin, at the gold prospectors as well. And get this, the ranger says, "Oh, you guys probably placed that. These large stones. You know what, Beck? You probably knocked yourself out with those big stones. You know what? You guys probably went through the fucking ceiling and destroyed that."
Literally tossing, like rolling boulders down the hill, gigantic footprints out there and everything. I thought it was interesting because a reporter, I think it was...
It was someone from the Oregonian, I believe.
Anita Nygerd. Double A. I can't really pronounce that quite right. But
okay.
Supposedly she went to the Rangers and was asking for more information because there was
Are you steering towards government cover-up right now?
Maybe. I don't know. Area 51's big, man.
Area 51's big. Maybe it goes all the way from, Nevada, where the fuck it is, New Mexico, all the way to fucking Oregon. It can be just states worthy.
I mean, just imagine.
Are we in Area 51 right now?
There are cameras.
Literally.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because she goes forward to the reporter because there's a gigantic uproar across America. People are wanting to find out, is this real? And many people were trying to disprove it. Many reasonable, educational people, like people that...
doctors, lawyers, accountants, people
everything.
with
environmental
stability in their life.
The
important people.
Environmental, United States Environmental...
service.
Yeah,
or,
something like that.
Yeah.
It's somewhere
like
around here. But literally, they're like explaining everything to this girl. They're like, no, they just rolled the boulders down the hill. They did that to themselves. They tore a hole in their roof.
Now say it. There is no 8 people, right, Anita?
No, I'm telling you right now. They just made they made the footprints with their knuckles and everything.
Johnson, get the glue.
Get the glue. He starts carving this shit right in front of her and is like, that looks like a big footprint to you? And she's like, all right, enough said. All right.
Yeah. So it's concluded the Rangers, they said that, hey, they're, you guys did it. That's the theory. They debunked the theory of ape men, and they said it wasn't the case, but people really close to the victims who got attacked, they said, like, hey, they're extremely confident that they were attacked by a family of apes or attacked by something, at least,
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of great. Like, what do gold prospectors in the early 20s have to gain from lying about that?
Yeah,
it's not like they're gonna go on fucking Oprah and lie about this thing, for fame.
Yeah, I don't know what they expected to get out of it aside from, if they did, attention. But even then, like, they're there to make money. They're not trying to make attention or anything.
Yeah, especially when you're bringing your family there and everything like that. One of them brought a son. But, like, did the miners just get, drunk one evening? And mistake what they saw? Like, did they create a conspiracy? Like,
yeah, it's
I don't know.
Local friendly neighborhood ranger just coming out, just checking to see if your folks are okay. Is everything okay? Banging on the door and all
it's
that.
Like, I know
they
what
open
you
it
did.
Up, just blast.
I know what you did last summer. Turned like that's the original story, Ape Canyon.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So even 60 years later, a report from William Holliday. He's director of the Western Speleological Survey, which is like caves and gorges and whatnot.
Okay.
So he claimed in his 1983 pamphlet, Ape Cave and the Mount St. Helens Apes, that the miners' assailants were actually local kids from the area. Came down to it. Said that kids and teenagers threw the rocks and whatnot. So
that man shot a kid.
Yeah. There's one popular story in the 60s. There was a skier by the name of Jim Carter, and he just completely went missing on the mountain in Ape Canyon. It is thought that the gorge just swallowed him whole, and no witnesses, there's no one came out anything about it. He just upped and disappeared out there. And those are some of the more infamous stories that we have there about Ape Canyon, is that one specific 1924 attack of the gold prospectors and the disappearance of Jim Carter in 1963. But there are a lot of government officials, maybe not government, but a lot of officials saying that that, of course, they're not going to say, no one in any sort of power is going to come out and say that Bigfoot did this or that an unknown species of creatures did this,
I thought it was interesting. I had to take a quote directly off the website I got it from, and it's the same reporter, Anita. Again, I'm probably gonna butcher
Nygaard.
Yeah, Nygaard. Yeah, I feel like it's something different, but yeah, in 1974, she put on the Oregonian newspaper, however it's pronounced. Bear with me, I got bad handwriting. Tracks have been sighted on the Lewis River, attested to by honest and rational witnesses. Occasional motorists and campers have been startled by sightings of a huge, hairy creatures mysteriously walking through the woods and disappearing into the night.
I just noticed.
What's up?
We're streaming this.
Ooh. Hope you guys had fun with that.
There's one watching right now.
Who is it?
No one, thankfully.
But that's about all I got. What about you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, so we're gonna come down to it, guys. What do you think happened with Ape Canyon? Hang on 1 second. I gotta fix this. I just said it like private or some shit like that. Oh, I feel like such a fucking jackass.
I mean, if we got quite a bit of views, I don't mind. The first live one ever, and the last one maybe. Who knows? Be sure to like and subscribe, and there may be more.
It's like listed as like fucking Skyrim and shit though.
This isn't Skyrim.
Fuck.
That's funny. It didn't show up in my hotbar thing, so that's good. It's like Tony's in there, he's like, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, probably. Oh my god, we fucking load. Alright, cool. Fine, cool. Alright, where were we? Alright, so.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. So.
The Battle of Bigfoot. Real or fake?
Yeah, come down to it. Do you think about the gold prospectors, Kylo? Do you think the gold prospectors were attacked by a family of Bigfoots? By 8 men?
It's hard to say because I could see someone trying to get a little bit of fame out of that because they may think, oh, well, we can't find gold, but we could probably make money off of the story.
Exactly.
But I do believe there's some kind of Bigfoot creature out there, kind of hybrid between human and gorilla that turned into this.
Mm-hmm.
But do I believe the story? I'd probably have to say no. Do I believe that Bigfoot people are out there? Yes, I do.
Okay.
What about you, man?
Pretty good. I'm gonna go with yes with both. I think that the story is probably legitimate. You know, I'll go with the yes.
Me, sadly, I gotta kind of side with a park ranger. Granted, the Bigfoot could have just walked off and just been like, whatever. No evidence. Got to clean the blood up.
Yeah, and like the thing with like the Native Americans though, like they say they confirmed it, and I mean like that's not the first case of like sightings there. I mean like they captured footprints later in the future as well as the disappearance of Jim Carter as well to think about. Like it's not like people just like disappear, and of course like I'm sure the park rangers like investigated, you know, to just like with that disappearance in with the attack in 1924. I'm sure they investigated what happened with Jim as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be a wrap for this episode of the Crust Podcast, guys. I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to subscribe. You know, comment down some suggestions for the next episode, and we'll see you guys later.
But don't forget to check out all the cool stuff down below. The Discord, the Patreon, our Twitter links, everything. Everything's down there. Check out everything. Like, subscribe, donate, anything. I'll take a heart and a leg. I don't care. You guys have a good one.